so that the community can take charge of administrating Cardano treasury, not just the founding members.
What was the last Impact concert? Oh, we did one with Jimmy Cohen for the tree gen token release soon.
We're gonna have a music festival specifically geared towards pushing the Fractal ecosystem forward and sharing more information about the Fractal ecosystems.
And there's a growing narrative inside the regenerative communities in Web3 about establishing common standards for evaluation, and more specifically, when we're talking about impact data.
A lot of the work that I've been working on with Abraham is how do we roll this out for everybody that doesn't have skilled people like us, that doesn't need an administrator. So we've been taking the tool and say, how do you do this?
I've also been doing a lot of research into the Base app and Zora and other on-chain protocols, as well as an additional way to help Fractal communities monetize.
And these games help us to retain and kind of train ourselves, celebrate victories, and recognize each other's work.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eden Fractal. We're here for our 125th event, and I have the pleasure to be here with many amazing contributors to governance and collective decision-making, some good old friends, and some new participants who are joining us for the first time. So thanks, everyone, for being here. Will's excited. If anyone wants to say a quick hello or anything like that, then feel free. I'm Dan Singjoy, and I'm going to give a quick presentation about Eden Fractal to kick us off, and then we're going to play the respect game and then have an Eden Town Hall afterwards as well. So thanks all for being here, and hope you all enjoy.
Roll that beautiful Eden Fractal footage.
All right. Thank you, Will. We're rolling the beautiful Eden Fractal footage. Actually, the first thing I shared is Optimism Fractal footage. So we got to go back here to home, and here we are at Eden Fractal, experiencing collaborative governance decision and innovation on Base. We're going to play the respect game. Everyone can earn recognitions for their contributions to the Fractal ecosystem. And also stay tuned for the Eden Town Hall in 50 minutes, where we'll explore legislative consensus processes, the impact concerts, ZAO Fractal Fractals, and more. You can learn more at edenfractal.com, and also the Eden creators put out some of these great tweets as well that provide an overview of some recent videos and all the things we've been up. So we appreciate you liking and resharing, and help and spread the word. If you're not familiar with Eden Fractal, check out edenfractal.com. So Eden Fractal is a community dedicated to optimizing collective decision-making through collaborative research, development, education, gamification, and community engagement. The Eden community has been meeting since 2021, and we've been pioneering ways for communities to coordinate that are fair, fast, and fun. We host bi-weekly events that everyone's welcome to join, where we bring together governance leaders and builders to explore better coordination systems from theory to practical implementation. And you're welcome to join our events, watch our videos, and also explore the blog to learn about better decision-making processes and fractal consensus processes and how they can help your community organization thrive. Our vision is that all communities and organizations should have the tools and methods to make the best possible decision-making, fair, fast, and fun. And we're doing this by implementing these fractal decision-making processes throughout society. Fractal decision-making processes, if you're not familiar with them, that's totally cool. We're bringing a new thing to the world here. So just as plants branch out in fractal patterns to maximize growth and resilience, fractal decision-making processes help communities coordinate effectively at any scale by breaking large groups into smaller interactive groups, similar to how tree branches go into smaller limbs. So these creates an environment where every voice matters and decisions scale naturally and coordination emerges from the wisdom of the crowd. You can learn more about it in our blog and by joining our bi-weekly events. At each one of the events, we play what we call the respect game, which is a type of fractal decision-making process, or I suppose a core component for fractal decision-making processes. And during the respect games, you can also network with talented builders, learn the best ways to empower your community and help create a better future. And we also record these videos too. We've done over 124 videos now at Eden Fractal and more at Eden Town Hall, where you can share your work and put it out there. And we're building open source software, and we're supporting developers who build open source software with the Optimistics toolkit to help people play the respect game and make decisions with respect. We host these events on Thursdays at 17 UTC, and this is actually the last event of this first half of the season. We recently entered Eden Fractal Epoch 2, a new era of collaborative decision-making, where we've been building on Base and Ethereum with new software. If you're not familiar with what we've been up to lately, you can check out this article, edenfractal.com/epoch2. You can also see what we did in Epoch 1 for our first 3 years and how we've returned to playing the respect game. And we've also started building on Base with the DAO software and much more. So yeah, it includes more about the benefits of participating and who it's for. So we invite you all to join, as well as explore base.org and ethereum.org to learn more about the infrastructure we're building on. And check out our videos too, edenfractal.com/videos, where you can see the respect games that we've played in all our 120 something episodes so far, as well as our discussions that we've had. prior to Epoch 2. We've had many great discussions at Eden Fractal and the Eden Cares YouTube channel, where you can watch all these shows and more, including Optimism Fractal, another event that we host on alternating weeks with Eden Fractal. So we invite you to join and invite friends. We love to meet new people and share the benefits of fractal decision making with everybody. Some quick community news. So at last week's Eden Town Hall, we talked about event scheduling, and we decided to take a one event break for Eden Fractal. So we'll be skipping the event that's scheduled for Thursday, August 14th, and returning on August 18th. And you can also see more. We've been making a lot of progress in our full implementation of Epoch 2. So I encourage you to watch the video. And then also, the Optimism Fractal community recently passed a proposal with the Optimism Fractal Council to skip 2 events and return on September 4th. You can see that proposal there and find it in the Eden Fractal Telegram chat, as well as other places, and register for all the events on the Optimistics events calendar, where you can see all the events, learn more about them, and so forth. And then, like I said, afterwards, after the Respect game, we'll join for the Eden Town Hall. Everyone's welcome to join too. And we have some great topics on the agenda too that I briefly mentioned before. So we'll get into those now, but we're pretty short on time because we got a late start because we're having some great conversations. So we'll get right into it. We're going to play the Respect game, a revolutionary framework for community growth. For anybody who's not familiar, you could check out edenfractal.com/respect game. And this is a wonderful game that provides profound benefits for all that we've been building here and really basing our events around at Eden Fractal. Basically, we're going to go into random breakout groups of 3 to 6 people, and then each person's going to get up to 4 minutes to share their recent work. Feel free to just introduce yourself as well, and then share what you did to contribute to Eden Fractal, but more generally, what you did to contribute to collective decision-making and coordination processes and so forth, and the Fractal ecosystem. If there's anything in particular that you've done to contribute to Fractals, that's great too. And then we're going to work to evaluate each other's contributions, who contributed the most based on the past. Generally share what you did over the past 2 weeks. But feel free to go further than that too. And we're going to rank who contributed the most, the second most, third most, the fourth most, and so forth. And if the group can reach 2/3 consensus on the rankings, then we'll all receive respect, and people who get higher rankings will receive more respect. And that respect will be a foundation for more decisions in the future. I just gave a quick high-level overview there, but you can learn more at the article. And also, we're probably, I think, going to be trying the new app that Abraham's been building too, a new Fractogram app, which we have a video coming out shortly where he demonstrated this. So the app is coming out very nicely. So I think we're going to be testing this out for the first time at Eden Fractal. So looking forward to everybody getting a chance to try it. Feel free to ask any questions in your breakout room. If there's anything you're unsure about, feel free to also share your screen. And also feel free to share any links to your work so that people can better understand. We love to help promote what you're doing. So, and we'll try to wrap up the game by the end of the hour, if possible. So with that, I hope that everyone has a wonderful time playing the Respect game. And looking forward to seeing you all when we come back to the community room in about 40 minutes. I'll create the breakout rooms now. And if you guys have any quick comments, then feel free. But otherwise, the rooms are open, and have fun.
Okay, there he goes.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Would anybody like to go first and share what they've been up to? I'm also gonna, I realized that the other breakout room isn't recording. A lot of times Rosemary records, but she couldn't make it today. So I'm gonna send a quick message to Das and see if he wants me to give him recording permission so that he can record in that room. But if anyone wants to get going and share their contributions, and the floor is open.
I can give it a go. Yeah, once again, I didn't really prepare to all of this stuff to share. But opening up my calendar like this week, and also, yeah, I'm gonna share screen actually. How do I do this? I don't want to share this, so I'm gonna do it like that. All right. Oh no, I still shared wrong thing. Let me stop share and try again. Okay. One of the elements, okay, this is more of a small thing that has been lasting for now 6 months now. Actually, it's on 8th month is starting. We're on the Cardano network. We are building an administrator layer, but also in a way that helps to grant fund like constitutional work. constitution updates. If nobody knows, Cardano has a constitution and which was created last year, and there's like a lot of community around that. How do we improve it? And there is only like one administrator in Cardano currently, and so this is now touching two elements, like how do we update governance, on-chain governance collectively, and how do we like put people decentralized, like in like community work behind it. And another one is also how do we make it so that the community can take charge of administrating Cardano treasury, not just the founding members. Quickly gonna drop that link here. And yeah, so this is now in the like a finalized stage, and there is probably not much, or if anything at all, in the main page is gonna change. So that's why I'm kind of sharing it. It's been read a lot, many times. Another topic, has been my this week's activity. It's in Odin network. It's in high level, it's open decentralized impact network. And this is where I met also where Sapien joined, who also invited me to Eden Fractal. So this is like already the first like networking across, and that's why I also shared that work there. And I took up a role of harvester, which is basically like doing a meeting summary, aggregating all the information that people are sharing in Discords. And we're using sociocratic like elements, and especially from the S3, and also teal organization patterns. And from that, we have kind of created, have a document structure here you can later see. And like, we're like pulling the celebrations, boost tensions, and like drivers. And basically pulling a document that trying to use also a bit of ChatGPT and like agents to help me to create these informations. Not that great, probably I would do better job manually, but I think over iterations it's gonna get better. So yeah, I think that's a cool way to also recognize your work. And so yeah, these are like big ticket items I will say that I'm working on. But if I look my calendar, of course, in SingularityNet, moving on with the governance. Regarding last time I was here and Will T shared about like impact measurements. I went through all of this material and like such good stuff. Also reflected some of the learnings and insights I found there in the SingularityNet. And now just today, a few hours ago, we had open governance session where the topic was theory of change, and which was kind of like a strategy, like knowing that we are missing impact and outcomes. How could we help to like teams and different teams in that network to like surface the outcomes, and also the theory of change helps to like establish the direction and how to capture that. What else? Yeah, Odin stuff. That's kind of went over, and yeah, now we're getting like last week. Catalyst is starting, so now we can also start proposing. So anybody who has like who knows how to do proposals or has teams who are looking for funding and building open source tooling, and also like thinking about like blockchain. I think the team, like the recommended team, is real world assets, and I don't know what was else, but yeah, basically dApps on the Cardano network. So whoever is working on that area or doing some like networking or cross networking or cross collaborations in like the blockchain space, then that's a place where you can start joining and proposing. And on that part, done a bit of like individuals one-to-one onboarding. And I also created my Google Calendar for those who are interested in like any of the networks I'm part of, and they can just set up a time. Yeah, on top of that, nothing else comes up, and I think I already spent all my time. So thank you.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much, Tevo, for sharing. Love to see all your progress and appreciate you sharing the screen too to show us what you've been up to. I'm going to, I think very briefly just go to the other breakout room actually, because Tadas says that he can record, but I just need to go there to give him recording permission. So I'm gonna be right back in like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. And maybe if I think Zaal said he can go next. So if Zaal wants to start going now, then feel free. Otherwise, if you want to wait for me, then I'll be back shortly. And then I'll make sure that your recording is on. So maybe if anyone has any questions for Tevo real quick or anything like that, then I'll be right back in a minute.
Amazing. What's up, guys? My name is Zaal here.
And not doing a lot of the impact. Oh, we got recorded. Oh, I think Tadas was recording.
Oh, Tadas was already recording?
Were you, Tadas? I think he had set that up. Never hurts to have a backup. And so yeah, we've done, I think what was the last impact concert? Oh, we did one with Jimmy Cohen for the tree gen token release soon. But yeah, pretty much just doing the 3 shows a week, and the last week or so been on the road. Jose, who is one of my friends and co-founder of the Impact Concerts, who also does co-hosting with me on a couple of the podcast or a couple of the shows that we do
in fractal governance. So due to the fact that the Nouns DAO Africa ecosystem was interested in fractal governance because a few of the people leading that community are a part of the ZAO Fractals and have seen that. They're excited to leverage fractals in their ecosystem, but they actually already have, because it's a nounish DAO, they already have governance tokens. So they're trying to like figure out how we can now include respect and reputation tokens for people who are contributing towards the general ecosystem, but maybe don't have that initial capital to buy an NFT, buy a Nouns NFT. So I invited some of them here today, which would be really exciting. And in addition to that, for the fractal ecosystem, we're working on an impact concert with some of the communities that are mutual with the ZAO, with the impact concert community, as well as, of course, our Eden Fractal community here. We're going to have a music festival specifically geared towards pushing the fractal ecosystem forward and sharing more information about the fractal ecosystem. So Dan's going to talk on that. I'm going to talk on that. And then we're also going to have a little bit of a panel of different individuals who are interested in leveraging this fractal ecosystem, kind of asking questions, doing a little mini AMA, and then doing some music alongside all of that. So that's kind of where we're at. We're going to talk about some more and brainstorm more of both of those things, hopefully, during the town hall today. And that's mostly what we've been working on. I also met up with Tadas this week to discuss OrDAO and how the ZAO was going to be able to leverage OrDAO. We decided that due to Tadas's busy schedule at the moment, we're going to wait a month or so before officially implementing it. But one of the things we did get done out of that call, which was really helpful, was Tadas showed me the way our on-chain claim is set up in our voting process. Every single week, when you submit on-chain, that's one of the pieces of the puzzle that I'm still missing from my Fractal bot. I've created a bot for the Fractal to participate in Fractal governance during in Discord. And with that Discord bot, right now it only does the voting, and my goal is to include this on-chain voting and ability to actually push the transaction on chain. So that was also really helpful. And then as I get that complete, my goal is with the Discord bot to also then make a template for anyone else to bring the Discord bot into their server if they wanted to run their own fractal with the same tech. So, yep, that's a little my 2 cents, what we're working on. And I'm going to call on Will T to go next.
Oh, you're so generous. Thank you, Zal. I appreciate you. All right, apologies for my little inflection there that may not have been appropriate, but I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, so me, Will T, Eden Fractal Communities, very cool. I know I probably missed the last one, this last one before the season break, so really looking forward to the season break. What have I done for this community? Well, I've been doing some research, kind of selfishly that benefits my own natural community, but also downstream will benefit other communities that I'm connected to. And there's a growing narrative inside the regenerative communities in Web3 about establishing common standards for evaluation, and more specifically, when we're talking about impact data. So I was invited to an organization called the Common Approach. They had ran a 3-part series on unpacking the Common Approach. So basically understanding what is the Common Approach, understanding that when we're talking about impact data, it doesn't necessarily need to be perfect. It just has to be good enough for the people that are leveraging the data so that they have a more common understanding. And it was a very good and very beneficial series, and the 3-part series to be a part of and to learn about it, to learn about the Common Approach organization itself, how they function, and how they get people to participate with them and support them in what they do. So yeah, I think that's been the major focus for me, specific to this community. And I'm willing to share if anyone wants to tap in on resources they provide me with so that we can all have more of an understanding. Next steps on this will be to draft a formal documentation of this and how Web3 communities that aren't using the Common Approach, how they can, possibly entertain implementing it within their communities. So yeah, that's it about me, and I'm gonna pick on Eric next.
Thank you very much. My core reason to live has always been bringing people and technology together to solve our most important problems. And the biggest problem I've seen with that is dysfunction in group decision making. Even though we've solved amazing technical problems that I can go over, like a lot of you have done, the biggest problem has always been people. And I believe a cure for that, or a tool for that, has been the fractal technology. However, the challenge with fractal technology is it's new and scary to people. And using the Maya approach they use in design is introducing people to new things means you have to check the boxes on Maya, which means most advanced yet acceptable. In other words, new but familiar. They want new, but they want familiar. So a lot of my work has been, how do you roll this out for everybody, for all organizations, without building a complex community and plugging everybody in? So a lot of the work that I've been working on with Abraham is, how do we roll this out for everybody that doesn't have skilled people like us, that doesn't need an administrator? So we've been taking the tool and say, how do you do this so that old people, young people, new people to technology, where you don't need a bunch of administrators, where somebody clicks and gets in the wrong group, where you let them get the group, but if they click in the wrong group, how do they get out? What happens if your consensus jams and you still need to go ahead and somebody dropped out? So we've been testing this through multiple versions. I forget how many versions we're on, but 5 or 6 or something. We finally, probably about 3 weeks ago, I approved version 1 to test with my guinea pig, which some people here have agreed to play with. And now I'm going to roll it out in a lot of organizations for my doctoral dissertation. However, the real target is to have my own R&D home to just roll this out piece. And we have lots of layers, and so bringing them in bit by bit with giving them, so they have to be motivated to do it. It's got to be easy to do. So we're motivating them, starting with nonprofits based on something they all really want, making it seamlessly easy and productive and affordable for them to do that, but making it really easy to do. And so this year I helped launch the Aquillius Institute, which is a 501c3. It just got approved. And I've started to build a volunteer network. A couple months ago, it was 4. Now I think we're at 65. I'm doing International Co-working Day is August 9th. And as a result of that, I got us into the San Diego Co-working Alliance, and we are celebrating San Diego Co-working Week. Every day of the week, one member is offering free co-working and tools. We're opening our place up for anybody that wants to do a community benefit, because we have 25,000 square feet of office space, workspace, networking space, presentation, conference space, lab space, design space. So we're opening that to people, but I'm using that as a market to do this. And then we're going to take the Aquilius Institute, start integrating these things in there as my test case, and from that roll out to everybody else. So building my volunteer network, approving the tool and testing that, and starting to put my training online for people so that I can do my test training case. Got held up a little bit because we had a death in the family, but I'm back on. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dan.
All right. Thank you very much, Eric. Really appreciate all the work that you've been doing to contribute to the fractal ecosystem and helping people make better decisions. All right, I'll share my screen now and share what I've been doing now to contribute to Eden Fractal over the past couple of weeks. So contribute to Eden Fractal and contribute to the mission and vision of Eden Fractal. So for one thing, I hosted the Optimism Fractal event last week. Here's a very nice promotion that Rosemary put out with some fun emojis, fun characters. The video is not yet uploaded, but we did what we always do. We measured contributions to the Optimism Superchain using the respect game and fractal governance, and we had some great contributions and great experiences. And as always, I collaborate to help promote this and help spread the word for it and so forth. I also hosted the Eden Town Hall event last week too, where we had some great discussions about event scheduling and progress. It's on the Eden Cares YouTube channel, where you can see during this time I went through like some things, for example, for the elements of Block 2, where we've been continually organizing and the event scheduling and so forth. So that's all there on YouTube. Well, just before the event, actually, I just made some minor updates to just update the Eden Tunnel website to make it look better. So I added a bit of text here, I removed a bit of text here, and then I added some pictures to make it flow better. Previously, it was kind of just like a very quickly put together, but now it looks better. And I also fixed some links on the site. And then this week, I've also been working quite a lot on the final milestone in the research paper that I've been creating for the Optimism Collective, the Optimism Fractal Respect Game, researching the democratic fund distribution, where I'm showing how the respect game and fractal democracy can optimize both collective decision making and specifically capital allocation, and not just capital allocation, but also fund distribution, how to actually start distributing funds in a compliant and private and decentralized way using the respect game and fractal governance processes. So over the past 6 months or so, I have shared five earlier deliverables here. And then the last one that's remaining is the legal and compliance framework development document. So that's what I'm working on now. It's not yet published. I'm going to be publishing it by the end of the day, and I worked on it quite a lot, but I don't yet have something that I can share yet. So you can stay tuned for there. But I do have just some stuff I could share here is, like, for example, some of the research I've been doing with different AI tools and learning about it. So this is something I've been doing a lot of talking with AI and figuring out both this week and past couple weeks, as well as this has been going on for months. But over the past couple weeks, I've been doing quite a bit of research into all the different ways that a nonprofit organization or different kinds of legal entities could help facilitate the fund distribution system. And I've been using various different AI tools for that, such as this is from Google. I've also been doing a lot of research into the Base app and Zora and other on-chain protocols, as well as an additional way to help fractal communities monetize and to grow. So if anyone's not familiar with the Base app, Base just had a recent rebrand, and they have a new social media app and kind of all-in-one app with trading and wallets and so forth. And I think this is really going to help bring crypto to the mainstream, as well as the social features allow people to earn by posting. So I see a lot of potential in how this can help fractal communities and fractal community members to monetize and earn funding. It's been growing quite a bit. So I've been doing a lot of research into this ecosystem and learning the kinds of ways that I could support the fractal ecosystem. And then I've also been helping out with a research project that Harvesto has been doing. He contacted both me and Tadas, and we have been going back and forth about different ways that, or he's interviewing people in the fractal ecosystem. So I provided him with some contacts and some information about fractals and some documents and so forth. Tadas has been helping more there, but I've been helping out a little bit here and there. And Tadas also put together this new GitHub repository section where he goes into like short overviews of what is Eden Fractal and what are these other different fractals and how it works. So I've been reading these and providing a little bit of feedback here and there. But and then also following up with some people in private, some developers who've been interested in fractals, and some people who have reached out to me recently, curious about fractals. So responding to people around, as well as supporting people in all these different ways I mentioned. And then also I had a couple other things here too. Oh yeah, I've been working on this fractal ecosystem development plan too, which is related to the nonprofit ideas that I shared there, but also thinking about different ways to build businesses around the fractal ecosystem. And I've been continuing to research here as well as correspond with the DOS on these thoughts. And then I also had shared some different I've been supporting Zaal and Easy and Jose in the Impact Concert, and just helping out with like partnering with logos and different things like that to help create this Impact Concert for Fractals. In addition, I shared a few comments in the chat on Telegram too, but I think that's it for me that I could share here. And thanks all for watching. Hope you enjoyed my contributions. And if anybody has any questions for anybody before we reach consensus, I'm going to share a link to the app that Eric was talking about that he's been collaborating with Abraham on. Actually, one thing I didn't mention is that over the past, I think that was about a week ago or so, I joined the DAO Fractal that Tadas had hosted, and that is where we tested the app that Abraham has been building. And so I participated in helping to test that. And I also produced the video and made timestamps and put that together. So, but yeah, that's the app that we're going to try out now because I'm pretty sure that's going to work well. It seemed like he made all the fixes needed. So I'll share a link here and we can test it out and everybody can get a chance to try it. And in the meantime, if anybody has any questions or comments for anybody, then feel free to ask and look out in the Zoom chat for the link, which I'll share in a moment, and where you can create an account if you haven't yet done so. You should be able to create an account easily, either with an existing Ethereum wallet, or if you want to sign in with Google or Facebook or any other kind of like Web2 or email, then you can also do that as well. So yeah, I'll share that link in the chat now. And thanks all for sharing all the interesting comments in the chat as well. Also, I see Tevo had a question before. I'm not totally sure who you were asking that.
Yeah, that question was for Eric.
Okay.
Like he was describing like that you're like launching this fractal stuff for like a lot of people, and you started your speech with like decentralization, but it was unclear for me, were you always like trying to empower
a lot of
decentralization?
a lot of our work has been a solution in search of a problem. In other words, here's more technology, how can we use it? Here's more technology, how can you use it? Which I'm a huge fan of, by the way. And I've started companies like that. The other approach is a problem in search of a solution. So I actually went out to the nonprofits and started with the problem and say, how can we roll this out? So rather than start with blockchain, I start with, well, run to the problem where the problem requires blockchain. So I started with a very low level of how do I get them to say something they want so clearly? And actually what I'm starting with is the easy, fast way to recruit, engage, and retain even more volunteers with almost no volunteer management overhead. And so that's what's attractive. Here's an easy way to keep your volunteers. The next level up provides information, it adds AI, it does this. And so as we build this, we have to give them a reason to say, I need blockchain, rather than say, here's blockchain, wouldn't you like to use it? That being said, it's very important that we keep up these efforts to develop and move blockchains, the systems, the models. I'm just starting with them first. I'm working with like 40 nonprofits and just saying how to, but the idea isn't just nonprofits. I'm just starting with nonprofits.
Okay, yeah, thanks. That answers the question.
Thanks for asking, Tevo, and thanks for the details, Eric. I want to ask a question to Tevo as well, but first I want to make sure that everybody is able to log into the app well. So if anybody hasn't yet done so, if you don't have an account, then please create one. You should be able to create it in just a moment. And then if you go to the Play tab, once you've created your account, if you haven't yet created if you're creating an account for the first time, then you'll pick Eden Fractal as your organization in your profile page. And if you have already used this app, and you have an account, then you'll just need to switch your organization and your profile to Eden Fractal instead of whatever other organization you might have played with previously.
This is optimistic town hall, was it not? Or still we choose Eden Fractal?
This is Eden Fractal.
Okay.
Yeah, the Optimism Fractal and Optimism Town Hall happens on the other weeks, but this is the Eden Fractal, and then the Eden Town Hall will be afterwards.
Yeah, maybe this is why the link didn't work, because there is Optimism Fractals only there in the Discord channel.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably it. What we should do for the Optimism Fractal Discord is add the links to both the Eden Fractal and the Optimism Fractal and make that clear. So thank you for the feedback there.
Should we be playing? Oh, in progress.
Yep. So once you are logged in and you have Eden Fractal set to your profile, then if you go to play and you go to Breakout Group 2
Okay.
or on 7/31, which is the date, then if you go to Breakout Group 2 and hit join, then you'll see me there and I'm waiting for everyone.
I do have one other question. Do you use Google Calendar for the Eden Fractal Optimistic Goal, like on your events?
We use Luma, Lu.mas,
Only
Lu.ma,
Luma,
and then
Okay.
Lu.ma integrates with Google Calendar. For those who use Google Calendar, you can have it where it like adds your
Okay.
Google Calendar.
Why I asked it, if you have Google Calendar, there is what we are using in Discord is, okay, name is missing me, but I can find, like, there's a bot that just syncs with your Google Calendar. So if you update your Luma, it would update your Google Calendar, and that would update your Discord, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the descriptions and links. And it's like great.
So
Apply
we
the
are
same.
we're just joining Breakout Group 2, right?
Yep. Yeah, right now I see me and Will here, and we're waiting for everyone to join. So if everyone could please click that link. I'll share it again too, because I don't know. Welcome back, Zaal. I don't know if you were here when I shared the link in the first place, but I know, Zaal, you already have this link. But if you could go in there, we're waiting for now Zaal and Tevo to sign into the app and join us in the breakout room where we reach consensus. And also thank you, Tevo, for letting me know about that. That sounds great. If maybe after the event, if you could maybe, I don't know, share a link to that, I think Discord bot, then that's something that we can implement in the coming weeks, probably. And right now you're muted. I don't know if you're trying to talk to us or not. Also, I know, Zal, you when we were in the DAO Fractal, you had an issue with the website. You weren't able to visit the website at certain hours when you're at work. We're still waiting for you now. I'm wondering if you're able to log into the app and play the respect game in the app that Abraham had built, respect-game.versa.app. Can you hear me, Zal?
Here's Zaal.
Okay, Zal's in. And now we're just waiting for Tevo. Tevo, have you been able to create an account in the app?
Yeah, I created an account and Breakout to join. Okay, I didn't do that step.
Okay. The one thing you made, if you haven't yet filled out your profile, you'll just need to add your name there and then add Eden Fractal as the organization.
Yes, I did that.
Okay, cool. And then if you go to play, then you go to Breakout Group 2 and you hit join.
There he is.
Okay, cool. Now we can see each other. So great. Now we can start reaching consensus. You can vote for level 6, which is whoever you think did the most to contribute to our mission here, whenever you like to. I also, one question I wanted to ask Tevo real quick was all those documents that you shared, I was wondering if those were related to fractal governance, and if they had any aspects of fractal governance in them, or if that's something that you're thinking about maybe introducing fractal governance in these communities later.
So I would say aspect of governance or like fractal governance because they're all like decentralized networks the same way like we'll be sharing a common approach. This is our good ways to incubate decentralized networks and like recognize them. And similar ways, these projects and the networks I work with, they are kinda like yeah, has these fractal governance aspects. However, it doesn't use these kind of distribution models you're like using here. So there is like that weak tie. I would say they're all weak ties. But yeah, because I've been a few times here, I do feel like well, I have nothing to share really. But these are like weak connections, and you never know what it leads to because the last town hall I wasn't able to attend few last times. But when the ability shared the green pill stuff, that was like even though it has not really like direct connections, it was like mind blowing for me because the swarm network that they run and the RNDAO swarm that was created not maybe based on us, but we had like a lot of this back and forth discussions where we gave all our like material requirements, processes to them, but they wanted like hierarchy on top of our swarm, but we wanted two-way collaboration and we broke up, but then they created this RNDAO swarm and I think that's a great like update because they added this venture capital and business style onto that. And now the Green Pill picked up and was participating that and found value in that. So it was like three hops away, and that's to me is somewhat also fractal governance, like it's what is like butterfly effect down the line, which you don't really see, and you never know. Maybe one day, indeed, like if you do get funded in, for example, the grant funding or in the for the like intersect, there is a reason. Okay, how do we do the? There is actually fractal stuff. We keep right in the into the proposal that if you do get funded, the 6,000 or 7,000 data is distributed based on who already kind of contributed. So there was some elements that was like ideated and it was the time when I started meeting here. So yeah, there is both opportunity and we create spaces where we can use these kinds of tools and methods. And
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing and looking forward to seeing your updates on that going forward. And yeah, that's super cool to see both what you're doing in general in Cardano with governance and coordination and so forth. And also appreciate that you're thinking about having some fractal experiments going on there too. So we reached consensus and I got level 6. Thanks for all the votes. I appreciate the respect. And then we're now voting for level 5, and there's a couple people who haven't voted yet. So if you could please vote for level 5, then we can start reaching consensus because we'd like to wrap it up in the next 6 minutes if possible, so we're not waiting for.
There was one little hiccup there on my voting side, is that it carried over my vote from level 6 to level 5, and it didn't record that I had voted. So I had to switch it off and then switch it back on, just to give you an update on that bug.
Interesting.
Okay. Sounds good.
I do have a suggestion to not show other people how they vote before you have done your vote.
It doesn't show how they voted. It shows who's voted.
Oh, wait. So to me, it shows like 20% on Eric and 80% on Zaal.
Yeah, it tells what the voting is done because otherwise you don't know if you've reached.
Okay, yeah, because we want consensus. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
And now
Okay.
once it reaches, it says congratulations, and anybody can move on by hitting next ranking.
I see. Yeah. I forgot this is.
And if you reach that point, you're running out of time and it doesn't, you can put force ranking, but 2 people have to, anybody can propose it, but it has to be seconded.
Yep. Thanks again, Eric, for helping to support the development of this app. Very much appreciated. I see we ranked the group came to consensus on Zaal at level 5, and so now we're ranking level 4. And actually, we're just
And
waiting.
we have consensus on level 4.
Yep, we have consensus on Eric at level 4. Paul says, woo, thanks for 5. You're welcome, so much respect to you. Much respect to Eric too, and everybody here. And now we're ranking level 3. And we're just waiting for a vote from Zaal.
So in this case, if Zaal's internet crapped out, he died, went out before this would lock up. And so now you can go ahead and force the ranking with even
Congrats,
if a
Tevo.
person out. That was a problem we had before. Somebody dropped out and then we couldn't move on. So that was one of the bug fixes, is you can force it even if you don't have the full consensus, because you have 5 people, and if you have 4, it just still assumes it's making consensus. So if somebody again proposes to force the ranking, as long as the seconded comes in there, it'll do it anyway.
Yeah, that's a very helpful feature. As Eric was laughing, it brought back many memories of us getting stuck. So the app is working much better now. Shout out to Abraham as well for all the great work put into the app. And yeah, now so we reached consensus on Tevo at level 3 and Will at number 2. So now you should see the final consensus on the screen, and then you can hit the push on chain button. And now, if all works well, which I believe it should be, then you can hit push on chain, and then you can submit it, and then I'll submit it to the Eden Fractal or DAO smart contract on Base, and then that will post it on chain.
It loaded, it said successful, and then now it says push again. So it doesn't provide me a new window like, hey, you have done it.
Okay. Yeah, for me.
Oh, by the way, when you asked me a question, I don't know actually which document you talked about. I assumed about the proposal, but the sprint retrospective document that we're sharing, that is also a bit of like, based on that, we have made, because every week we're running it, we have made fractal democracy patterns, like use that. I think your Jorge kind of introduced that, and then we have made some revisions on that. And so it's also cool to see what Tadas is writing in the GitHub. Actually, I would like to ask the GitHub link. I don't know it's accessible, and you kind of compare these patterns.
Yeah, we also made this so it would support multiple organizations. And when you set up the organization, it can push to different places. And primarily for me, it can push to no place, because when I start with these organizations, a lot of them don't even know what blockchain was. And if I have to set that up until we have a way where that just gets, when you sign up for this app, it creates a chain, but that's in the future.
But if I we didn't use app at all.
Because I'm doing my research like with 100 volunteers and trying to get 100 volunteers who've never heard of blockchain to set up and get wallets and do that. When we first started this, it was a nightmare trying to get all new people to get wallets and then connect. Can't remember. It's so much easier now, but it's still problematic. You can remember that Dan smiling, because remember spending like the whole time just trying to get somebody their wallet account to go. That was like the whole session was trying to get new people on their wallets working.
Yep, fractal governance, the first 3 years. In a nutshell, we've come a long way.
In Cardano community, one created a game changer wallet that generates your wallet. So you just click on, I want to join, and then it pulls everything for you. But it, of course, it's not as secure, but it makes like onboarding super easy. Or then, hey, take your QR code, you take it, you click it,
so that's
boom,
that's the future. Also, so my plan is to roll this out and start putting organizations on it. So my job is to, the next year after I finish the research, is just to get as many people to use this as possible and get them to donate money to fund level 2, which actually adds AI and gets rid of personal data, but says, here's what your organization is doing. Here's what they're thinking about in a way that still protects people. So basically, the organization can get a clear picture of what's going on, because usually most of what's going on in an organization, they don't know. In researching dysfunction, that's the big problem, is most information is not shared.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's why we're also experimenting with harvesting, and that's why I took this task on, because that's quite a challenge. How do you cross networks? Even if everybody shares always everything, it still gets slipped and you can't hard to retain. And these games help us to retain and kind of train ourselves, celebrate victories, and recognize each other's work. Finished my sentence.
Thanks.
Just in time.
Yep, thanks, Tevo. And sorry if I interrupted your sentence there. I had started the countdown for ending the breakout room, and I didn't have a chance to squeeze and let everybody know. Welcome back, everybody. I hope that you all enjoyed your respect game and you're able to reach consensus, and you're all had a great time playing and talking with each other. We're now going to head into the Eden Town Hall momentarily. But actually, first, maybe if anyone wants to share their thoughts. I know it was David's first time joining, and David said that he was thinking of fractal governance beforehand. So I'm curious what you think. Also, welcome Timothy as well. Thanks for joining. I think actually, now that I see you, I hope you enjoyed. But I think we might have been in Denver, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years ago. Okay, great. It's great to see you again, and thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to say hello, then feel free to do so. And if anyone wants to share their thoughts on the respect game as well, then feel free. And then maybe in the next 5 minutes or so, then we'll head into the Eden Town Hall, which will be in the same breakout room, but I'll just give a quick introductory presentation. We'll have more of an open discussion with some topics on the agenda. But first, so Timothy, you're unmuted. Would you like to share any thoughts or say hello or anything like that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say great memory. I'm happy to be here. Zaal invited me from the Nouns DAO Africa town hall the other week. And I really enjoyed playing the respect game. I think that Nouns DAO Africa will probably experiment with using the respect game in their governance. So nice to be here. And thanks for having me.
That's great.
Yeah, amazing. You're welcome. Thanks all for inviting Timothy as well. And yeah, that's great to hear. I saw actually in the Optimism Fractal Discord, I believe Generic Vibes had shared that something about how she's been working to introduce it into Nouns DAO. I've heard I've heard Zaal talk about it, and I think Easy too. So looking forward to hearing more about that and helping out however we can with the Nouns DAO Africa implementation of the respect game fractal governance. And yeah, it's great to see you too, Timothy. I remember we spent some good time together. We hung out, I believe, with Abraham and Howard because you're building with them. And
Yep.
we were just talking to Abraham. He actually built the app that I think you probably used there. So I don't know if you put those two things together. And I've also been in touch with Howard too. So yeah,
Abraham works on the app.
yeah,
That's really good to know. Whenever we were working together that year, he was green behind the ears, completely fresh. So it's come a long way.
yeah. He's doing a lot. He's been studying up on different programming languages and stuff like that, and building a bunch of awesome stuff. So shout out to Abraham and also Howard too. I was testing Howard a couple days ago. So yeah, it was really cool hanging out with you, and it's good to reconnect, and looking forward to talking more.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Good to know that they're around. It's a good space.
So was the Abraham the one application we use right now? Was his work?
Yep, that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
the application we just use, it's hooked up to the Ordar smart contracts, and Tadas has built the Ordar smart contracts, and he also built some components like the Or client, which helps to facilitate the app that Abraham built. But Abraham built the whole experience for reaching consensus and that app, and he just integrated some of the components that Tadas has built into it to make it work with the smart contracts.
Very fast development compared to the first few fractals I joined there. So it's nice to see progress in such a pace.
Yep, I agree. Well, glad you enjoyed it. Also curious to see Timothy's unmuted too. If you want to share anything else, then feel free. also, maybe, I don't know if David, you want to share any reflections on your first Respect game, or perhaps Perry, since this is your first time you've been back for a while, if you want to share anything, or if anybody else has any other thoughts about the Respect game specifically, then feel free to share. Then we'll get to the town hall whenever we're ready.
Yeah, it was fun. Onboarding experience was fun. The game, the technical part didn't went through as smooth as possible, but there were backup options. So yeah, but the idea is good.
Okay, cool. Glad. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thanks for your patience with the technical issues. That's something we've experienced quite a bit of, and yeah, I'd be curious to hear more about that and what we can do to improve that. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it though, and I'd be curious to hear if there's anything else you want to share, or if you want to leave it at that, that's okay too, and we can talk more later too.
Yeah, well, I think Tadas has all the technical details of the things we got into, as he provided the backup plan. But yeah, so the login works fine, but then the group, the voting didn't work because somebody wasn't able to provide the credentials, and yeah. So there are technical prerequisites which have to be met to do the voting. For example, like we need some guests on Ethereum somewhere, which also was a surprise for me. But yeah, that's the minor things.
Okay, well, thanks for the feedback. And yeah, at some point, we'd love to integrate with a gas sponsorship feature so that the gas isn't needed to submit a transaction. And all your feedback is very valuable to help us get to the point where the apps are like totally slick and totally working well. We've come a long way. Shout out to all the developers in the community who have been building these apps. But yeah, they're still not quite totally seamless yet, but they're getting there. So I'm glad you enjoyed the experience overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the one that failed. I didn't have a base account. So there needs to be some kind of power of attorney. I think that's what you're talking about, where like a temporary guest power of attorney where you can delegate out. And that's what I think Tadas was trying to do for me. So that would be an interesting thing. Although that power of attorney could not be validated on chain, so that's kind of that I'm not sure if that's the best solution. My feedback on the onboarding is it's become of the initial app that we attempted. That was super slick. Wow, that worked out. And I wish that we could have continued and finished it on that UI that looked like a very nice, simple and clear, straightforward UI. That would have been wonderful. But it was great that we had a recovery background, as I just mentioned. So a lot of progress from my point of view, having not been here for a while. That's a huge amount of progress. But I think there's still more to go, for sure, more to go. But progress is good. And the important thing is that people are participating and showing up. And I'm curious to know why people are showing up here. I know why I showed up, but is money being distributed, or is everybody just enjoying sharing, or how is that? What's happening here? Why are we all here?
The power of fractal governance. I mean, to be able to actually get things done and not have to be in a giant group where it's so hard to actually address issues or even ask a question sometimes. The fractal governance going into breakout rooms makes it a lot easier to communicate in that smaller group and then bring back to the larger group, a larger question or a solution or a partial solution or, a next kind of step forward. So that's why I love fractal governance so much.
Well, the other thing is breaking up in small groups and randomizing it means people are a lot more likely to share in a positive, transparent environment. So one thing, culture building, is information communication. And in traditional organizations, people tend to go either to silence, where they don't say anything, or violence, where we work to control the conversation and cut off other people. So it's an attempt to do that. This first level, I'm actually testing the power of appreciation on motivation. And I separate that from the decision making, which I'm working to add in at higher. So I'm rolling this out for any nonprofit organization, whether they've heard of blockchain or not, or in fact, I just talk about getting what they want. And what I'm offering is the free or cheap, easiest way to recruit, retain, and engage even more volunteers with virtually no management overhead, almost no management overhead. So that's something they're seeming to understand. And then we add in the other stuff at later points to move them along with something that's new yet familiar.
Good to see you, Eric. So it sounds like you're not leading with the immutability of blockchain.
No, what we've been doing is we've been a solution looking for a problem, which I'm a huge fan of. I've taken the other approach. I started by talking to 40 nonprofits and said, if I could wave my magic wand and give you anything you want, what would it be? And then I said, oh, that thing you want, here's the easiest way to get it. And they're going, okay, I can get that. So there's now something built into the app where you don't have to use blockchain at all. And what
You have a separate app? Are you saying you have a separate app that you developed than what we use?
No, it's this. It's this.
Okay.
It's the app I've been helping fund and work with Abraham to do this app. But the key is when you set up the organization, because you now can do multiple organizations. You can set up the organization to plug in or DAO or other places. Well, I can set up the organization to say, yeah, we're not using blockchain. And at least it'll get the organization starting. In the future, we've been talking about how when you sign up, it just gives you a blockchain, whether you know it or not. That's kind of where you're going to. But my job is just to get an MVP, something out there I can go and get donations for or charge a subscription to fund the future of this app, which then integrates it with the video and then starts adding these other layers. So I've already planned like for 5 layers, with the ultimate goal is to get them toward minimizing dysfunction group decision making. But I'm just giving them things they want and saying, here's how you get it. And each one is more valuable and gets more money for the purpose of funding this work and this organization. But they don't need to know that. And then I've also created a nonprofit that I'm working with for a big organization that I'm kind of hoping to use as my test platform, my R&D funds, and then from that roll that to all these connected organizations.
Okay, wow. You're a force unto yourself there. You've got your own program, all out of Fallbrook.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's just, again, we're working both ways. We have some people working with the technology and the blockchain and the models, and I'm working with the people. And what I'm trying to do is just get them to do that.
Okay.
So they're both a good part of the problem. But to me, the solution, if we want this adopted, we have to get people. It has to be 2 things. They have to be motivated to do it for a specific reason. It has to be easy to do. And the key is you also have to motivate the management of an organization, the worker being the problem. So they have 3 different reasons usually for why you do that. So you have to give each one a reason to do it and make it easy to implement it. The management level, the programmatic level, and the operational or worker bee level.
Mm-hmm. And are you interfacing mostly with the management, the leadership of these groups, or are you starting just at the membership level? How are you approaching?
I'm typically starting at the board or the executive, and I just talk about their problems, what they want, and say, well, what if I could give you a fast, easy, or cheap way to do that with almost no volunteer management overhead, because that's what they're worried about. What if we could do this and you don't have to spend your time doing that, you get something really valuable? Then the next thing I'm giving them is information. Would you like to know what your organization is doing and thinking about? And with scrap, taking out the personal names, just giving them a report of the organization is actually like the 3rd level. App is adding AI to do that.
Okay, wow.
And then after we give them the information, then we start decision-making tiers. And that's where we're going to need a lot of work that keeps going on here for decision-making. Okay.
Would love to get, Eric, would love to have you maybe as a speaker at the upcoming Fractal Impact Concert.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yes, and speaking of which, I would like to formally kick off the Eden Town Hall within the next couple moments because we have several topics that are on the agenda, including the Fractal Impact Concert that Easy and Jose have been organizing and planning. Also, some other things that I'll mention too when I share my screen, some exciting topics. So yeah, I want to thank Harry for all the great thoughts and question and support, as well as Eric for all that you're doing for Fractals, and also thank Easy for sharing all the enthusiasm too and helping to answer the question with all the love for Fractals. And also to answer Perry's question about why we're here. So you heard from a couple people, everybody has their reasons, building different things, excited about different reasons. You asked about funding, and there's not funding distributed right now. People are earning respect by joining, and that respect could be used to distribute funding later. And we have talked about some things in the works for funding. Earlier this year, I mentioned thinking about doing a pilot program funding, but maybe we can get into that more into the Eden Town Hall. And I also want to welcome Jed and Rosemary. Thanks for joining. Welcome to both of you. Great to see you. And also, I see Rosemary put up the heart. I saw Zaal put up the heart too, and Timothy was having some confetti thrown up before too. So hope everybody's been enjoying the event and having a great time. And if anybody has any very quick last comments during the respect game portion of the event for Eden Fractal, then feel free to share. But otherwise, we'll head into the Eden Town Hall. And this has been a wonderful Eden Fractal event and respect game. And this is actually the last Eden Fractal event of the first half of the season. So Eden Fractal will be returning after a one event break. So we'll be skipping August 14th for Eden Fractal and then returning on the 28th. But well, I look forward to seeing everybody there for the second half of the season. And then also for the next 40 minutes, 42 minutes, we have the Eden Town Hall scheduled, but we can also go a bit longer to make sure we have the full hour because there's a few exciting topics. So if anybody wants to stick around, really appreciate you being here and hope that everybody had an amazing time during the respect game. And we'll head into the town hall. I see Eric maybe wants to share one last thing before we head.
Yeah, I have to go, but Easy, I put my contact information in the chat.
All right.
Does this just turn into
Great.
the town hall, or is it?
Yeah.
Does the town hall? Okay, cool.
Yep. It's just a very unofficial thing. We just same Zoom room, so it makes it simple. Thanks, Eric, so much for all that you do, and hope you have a great day. I see you all putting shout out Fractals. We are moving, and Zaal Ray, yay! Love seeing the Nouns DAO Africa squad here, and also the Impact Concert squad in the town hall. Great to see, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Eric join the Impact Concert too. Is there anything you want to say, Easy, before we start the town hall? I see that you're unmuted.
That was probably just a fat finger. I am getting Eric's info, but yeah, we are, in case anybody's jumping out, we have a tentative date. We're thinking of a week from today for that Impact Concert. So mark your calendars and we'll be reaching out and sharing some information about that right quick.
All right, very cool. Thanks for letting us know. Excited for the date. And yeah, I'll kick us off with the town hall now, and then we'll get into more detailed discussions about the Impact Concert as well as the other topics on the agenda as well. So I'll give a quick presentation and then we'll get back to the discussion. So thanks everybody for playing the respect game, and hope you all had a fantastic time. It was a great discussion too. So thanks all for that excellent discussion. And we often like to end it with a Go Eden Fractal. So if anybody likes to join me, I'm going to go a quick countdown and then say Go Eden Fractal. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go Eden Fractal!
All right, thanks all. And we'll see you next time at Eden Fractal.